In this video, we're going to learn how to use Bootstrap to create collapsible content. So we're going to create an example using a link that will expand and collapse some content, and then we'll create another example with a button. And finally, we'll learn how to create accordions using the Collapse plugin. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the link. So we're going to create a link using the A tag, and let's style the link as a button using the button class and button primary. Okay. Then let's create the collapsible content. So you're going to create a div and place some paragraphs in it. Let's copy text from there and duplicate the paragraphs. Okay, so now we've got our link and we've got our content. So now we need to well, let's style the content first using the background danger class. Okay, so now we're gonna create the collapse functionality. So first we need to give our collapsible content a class of collapse. Okay, and then we need to link our link to the collapsible content using an href. We'll use the ID of the collapsible content. So let's give it an ID. Let's give it an ID of collapse 01. Okay, and also we need a data toggle attribute that will set to collapse. So now if we click on the link, we can see that it is working. We can see that the link can expand and collapse the collapsible content. Okay, so let's create a similar example with a button. So let's create a button. It's going to be similar to links. So let's style the button using the button class and button primary. Okay, let's create another div for the button collapsible content. Let's give it an ID collapse 02 and change the styling to background warning. Let's change everything to 2s. Okay, so now to link the button to the div, rather than using an href as we did with links, with a link, we are going to use a data target that will be set to the ID of the collapsible content. Okay, also we need a data toggle that will set to collapse. And now we can see that it is working. All right. Okay, now let's move to the accordion example. So we're going to create an accordion using the Collapse plugin. Okay, we're going to have 3 sections. So each section is going to have a header, okay, with a link, and the collapsible content is going to be a few paragraphs. Okay. So first, we need to create a div for the accordion and give it an ID. Let's give it an ID accordion. Okay, the accordion needs a class of panel group because we're going to have panels. So each panel is a section with content. So this is a panel, okay, and this is another panel. So the header plus the contents gives a panel. Okay, that's why the class is panel group. Okay, so then we're gonna create our first panel, which is the section 1 header with the first content. So it's going to be a div of class panel. Okay, and then inside the panel, the heading or the header is going to be a div, okay, of class panel heading. Okay, and then the content is going to be another div, okay, of class panel collapse, because this is the collapsible content. Okay, so let's populate the header first. So we're gonna place a heading h4, okay, and then we place our link inside. So section 1, okay, and then we're gonna have our content. So the content is going to be wrapped again in another div, which is going to take a class of panel body. Okay, and then we can place our paragraphs inside. Okay, so we can see now we've got our header and we've got our collapsible content. Okay, so now let's style these and then build the collapse functionality between the links and the collapsible content. So first, let's style the panel itself. Okay, so you're gonna use another class. It's gonna be panel followed by the state we want. Let's go for panel warning. Okay, and okay, and also let's style our header. So we're going to add a class of panel title. Okay, that looks better. Okay, let's just add a couple of line breaks before the accordion. All right. Okay, that looks exactly the same now. Okay, so now let's create the functionality, the collapse functionality. So we're gonna go to the collapsible content. Okay, and we're gonna add a class collapse. Okay, and if we want the content to appear when we load the page, we should add another class in, and now when we load the page, this collapsible content is going to be expanded. Okay. All right. We need an ID for the content so that we can link it to the link. So let's give it an ID of collapse 1. Now let's go to the link. So let's give it so an href using the ID of the collapsible content. Okay, and also let's give give it a data toggle, as we said, to collapse. And finally, for accordions, we add a data parent to links, okay, which is going to be the ID of our accordion. Okay, so let's make sure it is working fine. So now we can add the other panels just by copy and pasting the same code. So let's just copy paste everything, second panel, and let's copy paste for the third panel as well. Okay, so let's just change everything for the second panel. So we changed everything to 2s. So collapse 2, section 2. Okay, let's do the same thing for the third panel. Change everything to 3s. Okay, let's also change the styling. So let's have a panel danger for the third one and panel success for the second one. Okay, let's make sure that we haven't missed anything. So collapse 2. Okay, this needs to be 2. Okay, now it's working. And section 3, collapse 3, and collapse 3. I missed that one. Okay, so everything is working now. Alright. Okay, now let's have a look at some events and methods we can use with the Collapse plugin. So let's create a script. Okay. So first, let's use the collapse method. So for example, we can use the collapse method to show a certain collapsible content. So for example, in our case, when we load the page, okay, so all the collapsible contents, they show up because we use the class in for all of them. Let's just take it out for the last section and for the second section. Okay. So we can use the collapse method to show collapsible content. Okay. So let's do that. Let's place everything inside the document ready function first. Okay, so we're gonna access the second collapsible content, okay, and we'll use the collapse method to show this content. Okay, so we're gonna access it using the ID collapse2, and then we'll use the collapse method. We need to give it a parameter, so it's going to be show. So now if we load the page, so you can see that the second collapsible content appears. Okay, we can do the same thing with the third collapsible content, and now you can see that it shows up. We can use other parameters. For example, we can use toggle. So by using this, if the collapsible content is hidden, this statement will make it appear, and the same in the opposite way. Okay, so for example, if we add the class in to the collapsible content, okay, to the third collapsible content, and we use the toggle parameter, then it will just reverse this and it's going to be hidden. Okay, let's try. Okay, so we can see now this section 3 appears even though we've got the class in. Okay. Now let's have a look quickly at events we can use with the collapse plugin. So let's send an alert message when the collapsible content for section 1 is hidden. So we're going to access the content using its ID, collapse 1. Okay, and then we'll use the on method. So the event is going to be hidden.ps.collapse. Okay, and the function is going to be sending an alert message. For example, section 1. So let's try that. So if we hide section 1, you can see the alert message.